What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Thomas, and today I'm going to talk about the differences between a male and a female Doberman. That's not something that most people might think of or think twice about, but there are some fundamental differences between the two, and I think it's important for prospective owners of Dobermans to know the difference, so that way you know what you're getting into. Talk about their physical traits, their temperaments, the things they like, dislike, how easy they are to train, things of that nature. It'll be a full overview of the male and the female Doberman. That way, when it comes time, if you decide to get a Doberman, and there are plenty of dogs out there, I don't blame you if you don't decide to, but if you want to go the Dobie route, you'll know which one's right for you and your family. All right, to start with, the most obvious thing, the size difference. Female Dobermans tend to be between 24 and 26 inches in height, while male Dobermans tend to be 26 to 28 inches in height. And remember, none of these numbers are absolutely set in stone. Both Dobermans can be bigger or a little smaller than their indicated measurements. So I think that's important to know, and that's true with any kind of breed. So take it with a grain of salt. These are just average numbers. Male Dobermans typically reach 75 to 100 pounds, whereas female Dobermans can reach 60 to 90 pounds. Both of them have a general lifespan of 10 to 13 years. Both of them are slim, sleek, agile, with the male being just a little more muscular than the female, a little more swole in the front. I guess you could call it like squared off. So there's obviously, even if they go outside of the boundaries of those averages, you can generally look at a male and a female Doberman and tell the difference. Unless the female Doberman is seriously overeating and happens to be a lot taller than, typical Dobermans, you're going to be able to tell the difference between a male and a female. All right, in terms of health issues, I'm probably going to mangle this word. Dilated cardiomyopathy is a general heart condition that usually pops up in Dobermans. It can happen in females or males, but it's definitely more prevalent in males. These are full-bred dogs or purebred dogs is the term I'm looking for. And purebreds tend to have more diseases than mixed breeds. That's always the case no matter what breed you're talking about. Purebreds just always, they tend to have that problem. Another issue that you see often in Dobermans is obesity if they're allowed to be sedentary. This is especially true with the female because the female is less aggressive, less energetic in general. And as such, if she's eating the same amount of food as her male counterpart, she will probably grow way too big. Thing is, with a Doberman, at least you can tell with the obesity thing because they're very slim, agile creatures. So if she starts to get really, really round like a cylinder, then she's having too much. Same goes for the male as well. Minor skin allergies are typical of Dobermans. Dobermans tend to be free bleeders, so you want to keep styptic powder around the house in case they ever step on anything. One of my Dobermans once actually stepped on a nail from a neighbor's roofing job that they were doing, and I thought that he was going to die before I could get him to the vet. He just would not stop bleeding. It poked a hole directly between his paws right here. He just basically kind of kicked it. And man, that thing would not close. The veterinarian ended up stuffing it with some material I cannot remember and applying styptic powder and bandages, and we finally got it to stop. But that is common in Dobermans, being free bleeders, so it's definitely something you should consider and look out for. All right, so let's talk about the key differences. As if just kind of imagine a little T-graph or something, male Doberman, female Doberman. When you're looking at build, like I said, male Dobermans tend to be more muscular than the females. Females tend to be more slender and graceful. The male can be, absolutely clumsy. Aries is a prime example of that. They have long noses. If you got glasses on the coffee table and one comes up to get some love from you and you pet him for a minute, he's liable to turn his head around and swipe everything you have off the coffee table. It happens all the time, and you think we as humans would learn to stop putting stuff on the coffee table, but we don't. General appearance, males typically have a broader, more squared out chest. Obviously they have a thicker neck and stand taller with more musculature defined muscles, especially if they're eating right. Females are generally slimmer. They look a little more elegant and soft. Athena looks that way. She's the prototypical female Doberman, and even though she acts differently than the temperament says they should act, the general appearance, she does match the female attributes. Coat colors, male or females can be fawn, blue, red, or black. The fawn is more like almost looks like an albino. And the blues look like blacks, except often when you catch them in the sunlight, it's a really pretty blue sheen over their coat. Aries and Athena, Aries is a red, and as you saw earlier in the video, and Athena is a black and tan. As far as their temperament, like I said, males are generally more assertive, more protective, can be more aggressive if they're not properly socialized when they're young. Females are more nurturing, relaxed, chill, laid back. Can be the exact opposite, as Athena is a prime example. As far as their behavior, males tend to be more dominant, which is pretty much par for the course amongst all canine breeds, with the exception of a few. And the female is generally more reserved, again, laid back, shy, especially around strangers. The female is more likely to leave the room when a stranger comes in, and the male is more likely to go to the stranger in a not so happy mood, unless he knows the stranger. That's not to say the females won't be protective. If they understand that you are familiar with the strangers, they may just leave the room because they're shy. If they understand that the intruders coming in the house are here to hurt her family, that's a different kind of female Doberman right there. When it comes to training, the AKC often lists Dobermans as top 5 breeds in the world as far as intelligence. They are extremely intelligent dogs. However, that does come with a caveat, especially with males. That level of intelligence makes them think they can outsmart you. And it also tends to make them a little bit stubborn. It can be problematic, but it can be overcome with patience and repetition. Male Dobermans are especially so because they tend to be dominant. When you first have a male, especially if you adopt a male full grown, they will try to assert their dominance over you. You have to establish that you're the alpha of the pack. Obviously, that doesn't mean through, being cruel to the dog. I would never suggest that, but it does mean that you need to be an established leader in that dog's eyes. Otherwise, it'll be much more difficult to train. Females are usually more eager to train, more happy about training, and they catch on almost as quick as their male counterparts when both of them are focused and on you and doing, what you ask them to do. Playfulness, obviously the males are high energy. They have a lot of playfulness. The females are playful as well, but not quite as much. Now, again, this is a polar opposite with Athena and Aries, my 2 Dobermans. She's the more playful of the bunch. He will play, but you have to initiate. She tries to actively initiate play with you. So it can be different. It doesn't always have to be the same. In terms of protectiveness, obviously the male is generally more dominant in that area. Again, the female, when strangers are around, so long as she knows you're comfortable with the stranger, she may head off somewhere else, while the male may sit in there and monitor that stranger, even if they're not trying to be aggressive with that stranger. But in general, that's how it works. Can be the exact opposite. Athena here does not like strangers that we don't know. And if strangers come into the house that mean you harm, both Dobermans, female or male, will assert their protectiveness. And when it comes to grooming needs, there's not really much of a difference here. Despite their size differences or their general size differences, both of the animals are short-haired dogs. They tend to have the same skin issues. If they get fleas, they scratch. If they don't, they're generally okay, but their skin may get dry in the winter or in the summer. They may have allergies, but generally speaking, both the males and the females are the same. You should give them a good brush down, every day. And you should bathe them once every 2 weeks. If they're dealing with skin allergies, you should up that to once every week or so. You got to stick with like an oatmeal-based shampoo, something that's soft and not too abrasive on their skin, to help their skin improve only when it's, they're dealing with an allergy or dry skin. All right, when it comes down to it, you want to choose between the male and the female. There really are kind of a few things you want to consider. If you lead a very active lifestyle and you want a companion, then the male is probably the way to go. They've got more energy. They're more likely to want to go with you everywhere. They're protective. So if you jog early in the mornings or late in the evenings, having a Doberman with you, nobody's going to mess with you, period. It's just the way it is. Even if your Doberman's trained and non-aggressive, nobody's going to mess with you. Females obviously are a little more sensitive and laid back, but they still love exercise. They're still Dobermans at the end of the day. And, they need to get outside. They need that time. They need that mental stimulation that you can give them through training. So really, you're talking about a high level of attention and exercise and patience and time that you'll have to spend with either dog. You just kind of put the females generally down here, with the occasional reverse or dead even, just based on the personality of your typical female or based on the personality of a female Doberman or male Doberman that you decide to go with. Sometimes you can ferret out these personalities when they're puppies. It's not always easy, but sometimes you can do it, especially, if they seem really, really energetic and bouncy. That's probably going to be a high energy dog, but most Dobermans do, so you'll have to kind of see which one exhibits that a little more than the other. It's something you learn to do when you've been dealing with Dobermans, and I've been dealing with Dobermans for almost 40 years. All right, that about wraps it up with the male and female Dobermans. Like I said, in general, your males are more energetic, they're bigger, stronger, display more musculature, can be more aggressive, tend to need more food, tend to need more exercise than the females. But like I said, that can go the other way too. And I think my Dobermans are prime examples of that. Athena's probably one of the more energetic Dobermans I've ever had. She's probably more energetic than Titus, which was my previous Doberman who died of cancer. And maybe even Sensei, which was my Doberman before that. But in general, these are high-octane dogs. They need a lot of attention and a lot of love and a lot of appreciation. They are hip dogs. They will attach them. Velcro dogs. They will attach themselves to your hip. So if you love dogs like that are going to jump up on the couch with you and snuggle and chase off any would-be intruders from your house, then the Doberman Pinscher is the way to go. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Those are the kinds of things that continue to boost this channel. And we obviously have a lot of stuff that we still want to go through. All this stuff over my head still has yet to be reviewed. I'm going to put it on my dogs, get some experience with it, tell you guys what I think. And, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, definitely hit me up in the comment section. I always try to jump on there and answer comments and questions to the best of my ability. Plus, if you got your own little tales or experiences with Dobermans, I'd love to hear it as well. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching and have a fantastic day.